Back to the daily grind. The channel's getting false flagged by triggered trolls, so make sure you subscribe to the new channel. Let's get to the MMA news. Man, Oscar De La Hoya is still coming out salty. I see right through it though. It's funny how he's calling Conor McGregor vs. Floyd Mayweather a farce. He's saying, oh, it's crazy, Mayweather was gonna bet on himself to win in the 10th round, and he said it like he really knew what he was talking about on the MMA Hour. And that's not the case. That's not what Floyd Mayweather did. Floyd Mayweather got stopped from betting on himself. He was going to bet $400,000 on himself on the under. It was 9.5 rounds, and Floyd was betting on the under, which means if Floyd would have stopped Mayweather, if Floyd would have stopped McGregor from round 9 down, he would have won. So they saved him from himself. He would have lost his own money. If he would have bet on the under of the 9.5, it went to 10 rounds. So he would have lost $400,000. So Floyd Mayweather would have literally lost money betting on himself this fight if they would have let him do that bet. So for Oscar De La Hoya to be coming out and calling this a farce, that's fucking absurd. He's saying, oh, I'm still going to buy Conor McGregor's next fight. I still like Conor McGregor, but I just feel like the fans deserved better. What? This is the first boxing fight I can remember in the last 10 years that I felt like was worth the money, in my opinion. As someone that doesn't watch boxing, as someone that only watches boxing whenever my friends who kinda give it about boxing are watching big fights. I watched Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. That shit was not worth the money. I watched McGregor versus Mayweather. It was worth the money. It was worth rewatching. I fell asleep because of, you know what, the undercard. I had to go back the next day and watch Mayweather McGregor, and I was happy I did because it was a fun fight for fucking once in boxing's life. I'm just playing. I mean, I know there's people that respect boxing and shit, but don't come fucking disrespecting on MMA like that. Like May's not closer to a real fight than anything you've ever fucking sniffed. He literally said this: boxers, we train, you know, our one skill all our life. Boxing, MMA fighters, they train their one skill all their life. MMA fighting. MMA fighting is far from one skill. MMA fighting is every skill you need for fighting mixed into one sport. Boxing is one skill, as you said, but don't fucking say MMA is one skill. MMA, no, MMA is combined. It's boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Motherfuckers coming here with some sambo. Fuck you, Tamat. All mixed martial arts. It's not just one fucking one-dimensional boxing fucks, as Nate Diaz would say. So for Oscar De La Hoya to be coming out and calling this a farce and accusing them of some kind of conspiracy because he didn't understand the article he read, he didn't understand the article he read. The article said Floyd tried to bet on himself as the under for 9.5 rounds. So if he would have knocked Conor McGregor out in 6 rounds, he would have won his money. If he would have knocked Conor McGregor out in 8 rounds, he would have won. But if Conor McGregor would have made it to the 10th round, he would have lost his own money. So he's coming out here and making these bold accusations, and then he's talking about buy Canelo versus Triple G. If you want to see real boxers and how real fights go, this is the best you got to offer. Well, what about the boxing undercard, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya? I'm starting to think Canelo vs. Triple G is a farce because you're calling this McGregor vs. Mayweather a farce, and you're completely discrediting all the boxing fights under McGregor Mayweather, because what about those? How are you going to say forget McGregor Mayweather? That's not real boxing. Watch my fight. It's real boxing. There was real boxing the entire night before Mayweather McGregor. That's what put half the world asleep. That's literally, that's what put half the people watching this fight to sleep. The fucking boxing undercard. They all had to wake up and rewatch Mayweather McGregor because the fucking boxing undercard put everyone to sleep. So for you to be saying come watch Canelo vs. Triple G, I can't do it. You know why? Because I'm going to fall asleep before I make it to the main event watching the undercard that you discredit. Because you didn't say, you know, at least we got a good night of fights on the undercard. You know, we got to see Badu Jack, and I don't even know who else because that's the fight I fell asleep on. We got to see these guys, you know, showcase boxing before Mayweather McGregor and giving it credit. He comes out and calls the entire fucking card a farce because he didn't mention the undercard. Is it because he didn't have any fighters to promote on the undercard? How can you come out and call Mayweather McGregor a boxing farce and then completely ignore the undercard, the free card, and then say come watch Canelo vs. Triple G? How is Canelo vs. Triple G any different than any of the fights on the undercard? It's boxers versus boxers. What are you talking about? So this is just Oscar De La Hoya coming out and promoting his fight off the tail of Mayweather McGregor. That's a fucking farce. Don't call Mayweather McGregor a farce and then ignore. What the hell? This is some cornball shit right here. I'm seeing through it. This is some weasel shit, honestly, man. If you think about it, really, you're gonna fucking ignore all the real boxing fights before Mayweather McGregor and promote your boxing fights, your real boxing fights. I think someone's just being a promoter. He wants to come out and talk about Mayweather McGregor, make headlines while promoting Canelo vs. Triple G. I'm seeing through it, buddy, but I'm telling you what, if somebody calls me or I set an alarm for like 11 p.m. when that fight happens, I will watch Canelo vs. Triple G. But the rest of the undercard I cannot watch, or I will fall asleep before the main event. I will watch the biggest fight, Canelo vs. Triple G, but I can't watch it if I have to watch the undercard with it. If it was just Canelo vs. Triple G, a little 1 hour show, I'd love it. But you're gonna fucking have an entire night of fucking fights like Mayweather McGregor did that are gonna put the world to sleep before the main event. The same problem with Mayweather McGregor. So if there's any farce about Mayweather McGregor, it's the fucking undercard nobody cared about that you're completely ignoring as a boxer. And that's pretty disrespectful. I don't even know all the boxers on that undercard. I think one of them is like Gervonta Davis, Badu, Jack. I'm remembering names off the top of my head. But you're disrespecting them by coming out and disrespecting that entire night, buddy. It is what it is. Let the hitters know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. And by the way, Oscar De La Hoya was talking all of this trash on MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani today. The show's still going on, but yeah, that's where this came from. Dude. Did you hear about the butcher that backed into the meat grinder? He behind in his work.